What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Jackson and Jefferson and Lauren all in the same room together with the toys. Oh, what do you got there, buddy? That's his favorite green ball, and he hates when Jefferson tries to steal it from him. Get it from him. Get it. Get it. Get it from him. Oh, look, there, he just gave it to you. You made it too easy, Jackson. Way too easy. So today, Lauren and I are going to take a ride in the Twin Turbo ZL1, and we're going to be talking about some of the coolest mods you could do to your Camaro. Ready, Lauren? Oh my God, she's playing this game, this Coin Master game, on her phone. How many you got there? Wait. Oh, perfect raid.
I took all of her coins.
You guys ever heard of that game? No? Yes? You're about to. So this right here is Coin Master. And it's a totally free game that you can play with your friends. And what you do is you spin the slot machine to either get more coins or you can raid your friends. Look at that. I just stole over 1 million coins from Vicky. And once you have a decent chunk of coins, now I've got 307.9 million. I'll just pat myself on the back right now. You can use those coins and you can build more things in your village. And then you can upgrade it. And once you finally upgrade everything in your village, you complete the village level. It's a pretty addicting game, not gonna lie, especially when you play your friends or even family members or girlfriend. Looks like I'm gonna attack Lauren. Oh, I'll attack the one house she has. Oh, she blocked me with the shield.
Denied. Take that, Nick.
This game's getting really big, really fast. It's already the most downloaded game in the UK. And if you join now, download the game now, get playing, you can get a head start on your friends or your girlfriends. So what I'm going to do for you guys is there's going to be a link below in the description. Click it. That's going to get you 300,000 coins and 50 spins when you download the game. Get started in your first village. I'll see you there. Oh yeah, taking a ride in the ZL1. Lauren was actually nice enough. She went today while I was at work and got this thing washed and all squeaky clean, so it looked good for the video because it hadn't been washed since
way before the beginning of July.
Before the beginning of July.
Yeah, because when we went to DC, it was the beginning of July. It wasn't washed.
That's right. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't wash my cars a lot. I drive them more than I wash them. That's for darn sure. And the way my work schedule's been, the only time I really have to do it is, well, when I'm at work, so.
That's where I come in.
It is. Oh yeah. Put your cooled seats on.
Oh, thank you.
Cooled seats are wonderful. And speaking of the weather, it's what, in the 80s, I think? Mid 80s, not high 80s, like low 80s.
It's like 82.
Yeah. So you got a nice breeze. It's a perfect windows down kind of day.
And it's his birthday.
And it is that as well. Yes. I'm an old man today.
You're an old man every day, not just today.
Yep. 32 today. I'm 32 years old. You guys probably thought I was like 23. A lot of people think I'm still in my 20s, but I am not. I am 32. We're gonna go for a ride here, and we'll talk about some of the best modifications you can do to your Camaro, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more about what I did to mine. Now, before we get too deep into this, I did a similar video on my truck, and that's on my other channel, Truck Central, so if you guys want to go check it out, I'll have the link above for you guys. Also, while you're there, subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of new truck content coming this year. So I think it was last year, maybe the end of last year, I did a little video on my 2013 ZL1, the Freedom Rocket, and it was just sort of a walk around to the car, and literally everything that I had done to the car from the day I got it to up until that point. I got a lot of requests on that specific car asking what's all done to it. Can we get an updated mod list? Can we get a video of you talking about everything you did to the car? So that's pretty much what I did. And another thing a lot of people ask me, and it's usually through Instagram, is what's the first modification or what's the best thing that they can do to their car? Like, where do they start their build? And usually the question that I follow up with is, well, where do you want to go with the build? So in this video, I'm going to use the 6th generation Camaro as an example of if somebody was going to come to me and ask me what's the best thing I can do to my car, what's the first thing I should do to my car. So coming to the 6th generation Camaro, which I think is the best platform they've made for the Camaro in all the generations. It's the most advanced, obviously the most technologically advanced because it's the newest one. And it's just an all-around great car. They kind of stepped away from the muscle car of the early days, and kind of it's more a sports car now that can do everything well. So let's say you had a stock SS and you wanted to get some more power out of the car, or you wanted to modify the car a little bit. One of the first things I would do is do an intake. Cold air intake is going to gain you some horsepower right off the bat. You won't even need a tune, but if you do tune your car, you will gain even more power. That was the first thing I actually did to my car, was I put a cold air intake on it, and off the bat from the factory, this car ran a 10.9 at 129, I believe, in the quarter mile. Maybe it was 128. I honestly forget the mile per hour, but it was definitely a 10.9 quarter mile. And then threw on the intake and tuned the car, and it went 10.84 or 10.83. She ran the car at that time and literally, you know, chopped a tenth and a half off of the time, and I think it trapped a couple miles an hour more as well. So there's definitely 131. Yeah, there's definitely a noticeable gain with just putting a cold air intake on these cars. Older cars, it doesn't really matter, they gain something. So that's definitely a worthy investment, I think. Now, if you want to complement that, you would probably do an exhaust system or some sort of exhaust modification that will then flow better, and it will take a lot of the exhaust restriction away. You can do headers and a full exhaust. A lot of people just do headers. Some people do just a full exhaust system, which would be like catback, let's say. And honestly, there's not much more power to gain from that. It's more on the lines of making the car sound a little different. But if you go and do, let's say, long tube headers, not only is that going to make your car sound a lot different, but it's also going to be good for some power gains as well. And that, coupled with, let's say, an intake and a tune, I mean, you're definitely going to gain quite a bit, a noticeable difference in power and sound. Now, if we take a step back from performance here, and let's go to like the aesthetics of the car, the looks of the car, a lot of people do wheels as a first modification, and wheels are a good thing, especially, you know, if you get like a base model Camaro. Let's say you have the base model SS, you don't have like the ZL1 with the wider wheels, bigger tires, better stickier tires. You get a base model SS, tires aren't the greatest. They might be all seasons, maybe they're summer only, maybe you opted for that option. But most people will put a wider wheel in the back, possibly up front too if you can clear correctly. And then they will also put a better tire on the car. And honestly, from the factory, just putting a better tire on your car will help your car accelerate. You'll have more traction. If you take your car around a track, you'll probably have better performance around that track if you get a road course oriented tire. And if you drive your car year round, let's say in the weather, maybe you have different seasons. Maybe you have bad weather like I do here in Pennsylvania where it snows, and then you have good weather in the summer like this. You don't want your good wheels and tires on the car during the winter time. So what people will do is they'll buy a second set maybe of cheaper wheels and tires, or keep the stock wheels and tires on and buy a better set for the summer. That's an option as well. Wheels and tires are one of the things that literally can make the car look completely different just by changing it out. And there's a lot of affordable wheels and tires out there that they may not be the best, most expensive company, but they do their job well, and you won't have to break the bank to buy a set. So most people that get Camaros buy them, modify them, and they just want more horsepower out of them. A lot of people won't even go in that realm. Like they want like a body kit or like a front splitter, rockers, rear diffuser. They want a big wing. They want a wrap, maybe different paint job. Maybe they want window tint. Maybe they want lights in their engine, under their car, everywhere. In that aspect, I'm really not the type of person that goes too crazy on the exterior looks or interior looks of a car. Owning the ZL1, I think the car already looks great on the inside. The only thing I really did to it was I changed out the steering wheel to this one here, which you guys can't really see in the video, but I did a video about that if you want to check it out. And I also did the carbon fiber dash insert on the passenger side, which looks really nice. As far as the exterior goes, I really haven't done much to the car either, aside from tinting the windows. And I think I'm going to take all the badging on the car, the ZL1 badging, either take some of it off or I'll replace it with just a black badging instead of the chrome that comes in the car to make it a little more red and black theme, sort of like my truck. So lastly, and I think it's one of the biggest things you can do to your Camaro, is some type of forced induction. That's going to get you the best gain. That's going to change the car the most. And depending on what type of setup you go with, it could be the best bang for your buck you can get.
So most of you guys know what's already done to this car, but if you're coming here for the first time maybe and watching me, this is what I've done to my car instead of keeping it stock. I decided to go with the Hellion twin turbo kit. Now, from the factory, the ZL1 has the LT4 supercharger and engine, and obviously that's no longer there. Now, say you started with some type of forced induction like a supercharger, you could modify that and really get the most out of it, and it will gain you a good bit of power. Or you can swap to an aftermarket supercharger, maybe a bigger one, which will gain you even more power. But in my case, what I did is I went and did something totally different and went with twin turbos. Now, this is, like I said, the Hellion kit for the 6th gen Camaro. Those are precision 67mm turbos. That's a late model engine's billet intake manifold. And underneath it is the heart of it all. It's a Texas Speed and Performance recently 416 stroker LT1. It's also fitted with their PRC LT4 ported heads. Now, the car does have an upgraded low side and high side fuel system, so it is able to run a decent bit of power. In fact, this thing makes well over 1,000 wheel horsepower on just 93 octane pump gas. Now, I haven't made the switch to E85 yet, but when I do, it's going to make even more. Unfortunately, we are running into some transmission issues. It is the 10-speed auto, and 7th gear in the 10-speed auto is the weakest gear, so there is some transmission slippage going on. I do have some parts to build the transmission from a company, so that will be done soon. But for now, we have it turned down a little bit so the transmission doesn't slip. And I'll tell you what, this thing is awesome. As you can see, I didn't really do much else to the car. In fact, that's the only thing I did to the car. What you see in this engine bay is literally the only things I should say that have been done to the car. Wheels are stock. Now, when I go drag racing, I do throw on a 17-inch wheel with the drag radial on the back just for better traction. Out on the street and everything, that tire doesn't do too bad. It's the factory Goodyear Eagle F1 Supercar Generation 3 tires, and they're not bad when they're warm. However, in the colder months, they do kind of suck. But with it being summer here in Pennsylvania, they do great. Obviously, they handle phenomenally with the suspension. It's not lowered or anything. It's the stock ride height. I haven't really done much except for the taillights here. These are tinted LED taillights. They're sequential. I did a video about these as well if you guys want to check that out. And then finish it off here with the gloss black wrap. I do have 15% tint all around, front and back, and then I have the tint strip on the front windshield. Nothing's done to the rear, the axles, the differential, the drive shaft. It's all factory. The ZL1 is really built well from the factory. Those of you guys that maybe have an SS, you might have to do some modifications to those things, especially the LT1 motor. That thing doesn't handle too much power from the factory, so if you do some type of forced induction, you'll have to upgrade the internals in the motor, or go with a different motor. So that's pretty much the long and short of everything that's done to the car. And last thing that I think we should do is I think we should go out on the road, do a few pulls in Mexico, have some fun with the car. What do you think? Yep, yes, no, maybe. Lauren, what do you think? Okay. Alrighty, back in the car now, and the cool thing is Mexico isn't too far away, which is very convenient. I also have a cool little feature here. I didn't really tell you guys about it, but right now the exhaust is closed in the back, and I can open it up. It's a set of diverters I have right before the muffler, and what that does is the diverters open up and close off the exhaust flow to the muffler, and instead dump it right before the muffler to make the car sound a little bit better. I don't know if you can hear that. I just opened them up, a little bit more low-end tone to the car, and it frees up a little bit of restriction as well. The good thing about it is it's like having an exhaust in your car, but when you want it quiet, you can close it. Oh, what do you know? How convenient. A tunnel to start off this little drive. Oh yeah. Well, we're about to get on the highway real quick, have some fun. Do a little pull here, windows down. Nothing, she's got nothing to say. The downshifts just sound that much better with those exhaust valves open, I think.
I just thought the smile said it all.
It usually does. Sadly, it was only one gear, but that one gear was
powerful.
well, yeah. I mean, I started a little lower in that gear, and pretty much right before I shifted, had to let off. For some odd reason, traffic's really busy today in Mexico. I don't know why. It's really weird.
See, if I would have made this video, I would have just said, this car goes 9.5 in the quarter and can drive 700 miles to Kentucky and 700 miles back to Pennsylvania. The end. Thanks for coming, like, comment, and subscribe.
But Lauren is right. We just drove this car to and from Kentucky. 700 plus miles there, and then 700 plus miles back. Drag raced the car, ended up winning first place in its class, and yeah, I couldn't ask much more out of it, honestly. I mean, it's a great car. It's pretty reliable. It's very, very street capable. In fact, we could drive this thing across country and not even bat an eye at it. Well, I think we can do one more pull for good luck. What do you say?
Okay.
Why are you holding your eyes?
Because of the G-forces. It makes me dizzy.
Because of the G-forces, it makes you dizzy?
Yeah. I knew we were going to be just fine stopping. I was just thinking, I didn't want to watch it stop.
Oh my God. Yeah, one time I slammed on my brakes to test them out after I got the car to see how good it stopped on the street. And it literally sucked my eyeballs out of my socket. My vision got a little blurry.
Yes. Oh my God. The equilibrium just went.
The negative G-forces basically is what made it do that.
It's like slow motion.
Yeah. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the little video that I did for you here about the car. And maybe that answers some of you guys' questions on what to do to your car first. So also, if you guys want to check out the truck video that I did on my 2017 Silverado, head over to my other channel, Truck Central. I'll have that link below for you in the description. You can check that video out. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to take the Freedom Rocket back to the drag strip tomorrow and see how she does on a better prep track, see if we can get a full pass out of her and see what kind of time it runs. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're coming here for the first time, and have a great day.